This build is a portuary city that I made in the Watatsumi Island style. The design has a fake dock and a rock structure in the middle that I wanted to look a little bit like the bottom of the ocean. The dock has seafood stalls nearby, also lots of fish stores around, and the entire place is in a blue and purple color palette. The biggest accent color is yellow from the lamps, which I think look really majestic at night. I hope you agree with me. I tried my best to give it a little bit of a Watatsumi Island vibe, but we still don't have many of the Watatsumi furnishings, such as the blue torii gate or the blue shrines they have, or really anything in the Sangonomiya Shrine. There are a lot of missing items from that island from Inazuma, so it's a little bit hard to make a Watatsumi themed composition, but I tried my very best. The building section is going to be detailed, so I hope that helps you replicate this in your server if you want to. Honestly, designing this place has taken me quite a while, I think a little bit more than a week, and I'm not entirely satisfied with the end result, but I hope it satisfies you. I honestly just put the watchtower so you have a lookout spot to see the entire place. Also, whoever decided to place that free teleport point up in the mountains away from everything, I don't know what to tell them. It's like too far away to use it to visit Chavi and too far away to actually be useful to visit the design, so I don't know. I guess free is nice, but I still had to place my own teleport for this design, which is a shame. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the building section. I put my heart into replicating what I had already built before, so that it's easy to follow, because I know that when I post the reverse time-lapse, I really feel it that the quality is not enough. So I hope this level of quality is a little bit more adequate. Hi guys, I am the Pai from the past, and we are going to start making the portuary city step by step. First, we are going to start by placing the teleport waypoint, so we don't forget. I'm going to place it here near the entrance, and it's going to be here because, as you can see, Chavi spawns over here. It's a little bit far away, but this is the closest point you can teleport to from the building area. And there is a free teleport over here, but it's too far away from anything, so we are not going to use that. We are going to place this one over here. And well, let's begin by placing the foundation for the layout, which is going to be mainly foundations of stone grand design. We are going to start by placing 7 here in a straight line. At the third step, we are going to place another foundation of stone over here. We are going to place a building here later, so we are going to leave that over there. Now, from this point here, we are going to place another 7 tiles in a straight line again. now from here we are going to place 3 tiles to the right, and we are going to follow with 4 tiles over here in a straight line again. Over here we are going to place a single tile, and now we are going to place 14 tiles in a straight line across this. So I want to start joining it with the tile we placed before, and I'm going to place just 2, 3, 4, and the following 10 over there. So now that we have this part complete, there is still some tiles to place over here, but we are going to do a little sinking here to make what I wanted to place to simulate like a port. So we are going to sink some buildings. It's going to be 7 buildings. So we are going to use these buildings, the Inazuma workshop multi-purpose. That's because well, it's going to cover a lot of the area, and we use more load if we use the wooden platforms. So we are going to do it like this. Alright, so that's 7 buildings. Now we are going to place this tile here that will serve as the anchor for the sinking we are going to do. We are going to delete it later, so don't worry about that. You don't have to actually keep it. Okay. So this platform, well, if you know how sinking works, you already know. But well, basically we are going to use this platform and imagine it's the ground level and adjust it vertically to whatever height you want, you know, for the buildings to look like when they are underground. So if this happens to you and you cannot place the tile at the top of the platform, that is because the game considers the anchor for the furnishing group the one the closest to the center of this circle. So if these platforms are closer than the tile, the game thinks the anchor is one of these platforms. Now that I moved the tile closer to the center, you can see that the game considers it the anchor. I hope that's helpful for newer people. Alright, so now we select this, edit the set, and now it's well, clipping underneath the sun as we wanted it to. we are going to rotate and adjust so it looks like we wanted it to look. I'm going to place it like this because there is going to be a furnishing a building here, so it's not going to look that weird. And because I have no use for this anymore, I'm going to delete it, but if you want to keep adjusting this set, I don't delete it yet. I'm just going to do it because I already know I'm not going to use it anymore. So the port is not very believable because there is this big chunk of land between the dock and the sea, but we cannot do anything about that, so we are going to cope and sheath as appropriate and yeah, place some of these decorations that are, it's a crane for fishing, which again is not very believable because it's not over here, but I can't do anything about that. So we are going to place 3 of these, and we are going to place 5 lamps here. So I'm going to use the Otogi countryside street lamp for this dock area, and we are going to use a different lamp for the rest of the city later. So now that we have this part of the layout complete, we are going to place some of the buildings already, so I can orientate myself a little bit. We are going to have this watchtower here. This will give you a very neat overview of the entire area when it's finished, so that's why I wanted it there. Here's one of the Watatsumi-Style houses that we are going to use. I like to imagine that this one is a fish selling point here, so we are going to place this table here, and we are going to place some fishes, and we are going to float it on top of the table, which is a little bit painful because it's very close to the ground level, but we can do it. This is a little tip for this entire area of Kasumi Shoal. If you want to float anything, always look at the ocean. It helps. Sometimes it's still hard to get the glitch to happen, but looking at the ocean usually works. It flickered red, so we are good to go. Okay. Over here I'm going to place a whipping stone that is going to help us close off this part over here, and we are going to go back to the beginning, and we are going to start placing the furnishings of the entrance. Okay, so it's time we place the tiles for the other part of the city. The same once again, and well, they are going to be honestly more or less here. We are going to place some over here to measure the distance. Okay, so there is going to be a gap of 4 tiles between this point and this point, and we are going to place 4 tiles in a straight line here. That's 4, and another one over here at the third spot here. And now that we have this shape here, we are going to continue with 5 more tiles in a straight line on top of the ones we had over here. Sorry if it's a little bit confusing. And now that we have this shape here, we are going to place the corridors that will tie into the other little neighborhood. You want the corner over here, and then 3 of these straight corridors, and another corner, but this time it's going to look inwards. Now we are going to place 3 tiles in a straight line here, 4 tiles over here, and over here we are going to place another 2 tiles. So here we are going to place another one of these bigger Watatsumi houses. I like to imagine that the city or village boss lives here, so we are going to place we are going to float the Watatsumi drum. We are going to float it here to make this house stand out a little bit. And over here we are going to place one of these small houses. Alright. So now we are going to populate this area here that I left a little bit blank. This medium house over here, this little house over here, another of the big ones here, and near this one we are going to place another of the small ones here. Alright, nice. Now we have the basic layout finished, and we are going to start adding all the details. So I'm going to start with the rock formation that goes here. We are going to do some more sinking. Actually, I'm going to use the solitude boulders. You can use any you want. I just wanted them to be small, so they are more easy to adjust and move around. So we are going to join momentarily these 2 platforms, but we only want the rock to be anchored to the platform, and it's going to stand alone like that. Again, we set an anchor, and we set up a platform that can basically swallow all of the rocks. And we create the set again for sinking. So to start, we are going to want one of these small rocks to rest at the middle, and well, look short like so. We are going to put a lamp on it, so like this. Next, this bigger rock is going to be like a backdrop for the light of the lamp. You'll see what I mean in just a bit. And now we are going to use these 3 rocks and make them shorter than the backdrop rock, and each one is going to be slightly shorter than the others. I'm going to make the backdrop rock a little bit taller. So we place another one here that should be looking shorter. You can space them however you like. I like to separate them a little bit so that you can appreciate stuff through distance a lot. Another one here, which is going to be the shorter one of the 3, so it's going to be shorter than that one, but still taller than this one. It's a little bit tricky to balance. Alright, just structure them in a way that satisfies you, honestly. Spacing is important. Yeah, when we grab the tile to the ground, it's going to look like this. We can already remove this if we don't want to adjust the head anymore, and we are going to edit the set until we are satisfied. So the lamp is going to be there, and I want from that when you come from this corridor, this is the first thing you see. So I think I'm going to leave them here. Maybe adjust it just a little bit so it's not super close. So that it's not super close to this path here. But I'm going to delete the foundations of stone. Always remember that that's the last thing you should do when you are already satisfied with the way things look, because you're not going to move stuff anymore. And here we are going to place a Toro lamp. Here the stone lantern Fudumiyo's light. As you can see, the light reflects against the rocks and I think it looks quite cute, pretty special. We are going to float the lantern looking at the sea. Okay. And remove this. So now, before we decorate this area with plants, we are going to place some stones without sinking them, so that we get some head contrast. Ooh, it always looks more interesting when there is a difference in head. At least that's what I think. And placing one of the tall ones over here can make it feel more like it's a naturally occurring formation. we are going to start with some trees of azure jade. I want to place some here on top of this rock. Still want the root to look like it's coming from the rock, so I place it here. Always look at the sea. Now we are going to take advantage of this part here that protrudes to place some more decorations. In this case, I want to place some of these, I don't know what to call them, clams? And we are going to place one of these trees over here, but it's going to be fusing or clipping a little bit between the rocks. I think it makes it look a lot more natural. This little bush is going to be part of the rest of the design, so don't worry. It's all going to be in harmony. We are going to place one more over here for some visual balance. And some of these fun dance flowers, I think. Definitely remind me of the bottom of the sea. Actually, I'm going to place some of those here if I can. Some more clams over here. And I want to place this shiny Enkanomiya coral here. Just one of them. I think it looks quite special. And we are going to finish the rock formation with a bench to sit and look at the scenery. Honestly, this is my favorite part. The moon shows just behind the formation and it looks... I want to say it looks like the bottom of the sea. I don't know. I hope it does. Alright, so we are going now to decorate a little bit, making a couple of shops over here. It's not going to be any complicated, don't worry. I wanted this to look like a fish shop. I know we have many of these over here, but I just want to drive home the point of it being like a portuary fishing city or town. I hope it makes sense. I'm going to place some money bags because I can. Alright. So now the entrance, we are going to decorate with these lamps a lot. So this section is going to be a lot slower than the other one, I guess. So first off, we have to take into account how things are going to look once you teleport into this area. So I placed these lamps because they looks very striking like this. And we are going to close off the view with a rock over here. One of these tall ones here. And mossy stone, a mossy stone here. So we're going to place more mossy. I think they look very cute. More mossy stones here. We are going to grab this I think this looks a little bit too close. Hold on. I made a mistake before. It should be over here. Sorry about that. It's not going to be troublesome to fix, but it always sucks when I'm not paying attention. Okay, so we want this bush to come out over here. I'm going to use the wooden platform to place another one coming out from this rock here. And we are going to decorate these stones with some coral to keep the theme going. One neat thing is this tree that really fits our color scheme here. It's actually quite a small load, so that's pretty great. The more you know. I recommend you rotate them a little bit so they don't look like they are too samey, even though they are exactly the same, but you get me, right? Alright. We are going to make some more enclosures using this bamboo fence. Here we are going to make a little shrine garden. I don't know what else to call it. Shrines in Watatsumi usually are blue, but we don't have those, so we are going to do what we can with what we have. Remember to use the same furnishing whenever you can to save some load while still decorating and filling out the area. More bamboo enclosures. It's not going to take much longer, don't worry. Honestly, I think it's pretty fun to make a garden using unusual plants for them. We are almost done. I want to add some boxes to make it look like it's a busy port, even though it doesn't look like a port at all. Some more lights here. One of my favorite final touches. Adding some food stalls. I'm going to reduce some of the plants here. Well, I'm going to get rid of this. It's fine. Oops. I mean, we want a place for the client to sit. Otherwise, it doesn't make much sense. Like so. I think this should be all. So yeah, that's all. That's how you build this. I hope you found it helpful and I hope you enjoy the design. This is the end of the building section. Bye bye!